That would be a 174% increase in the stock price of... All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to do my Bitcoin and Bitcoin miner daily update. So today is like deja vu all over again. It's the same thing that happened yesterday. Everything started low, all the equities and Bitcoin, and everything's been rallying all day. So I want to take a look at what effect that is having on Bitcoin and on the Bitcoin miners. So if you're new to the channel, we cover Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners quite a bit on this channel. So if that's content that you're interested in, please do us a favor and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And if you like this video, please smash the like button and feel free to leave us a comment below. I read all the comments and I respond to a lot of them as well. So I appreciate that. Also, last thing, we do have a Discord and there is a link in the pinned comment to our free Discord. So we encourage you to come over and join the conversation there. We have a great conversation going. So please come check out the Discord. Okay, having said that, let's look at the big board. So the trading day is not over. We still have just over an hour left to trade, but the board is now virtually green. And for the majority of this day, the board was virtually all red. It has slowly been getting greener and greener and greener, and now the majority of it is green. There's a few lagging stocks, so we'll see what happens. There's still an hour left of trading, and so we don't know which way that's going to go. We'll see how the day ends, but it's been pretty much up in a straight line for Bitcoin and the equities. So Bitcoin started out and it was having a good day. This was the 930 candle, so I'm just going to circle. That's today's trading day. So you can see we've been pretty much going up and now a little bit sideways. But through most of the morning, as Bitcoin was doing okay and ticking up, the equity markets were getting crushed. So the Bitcoin miners were still red. They were getting dragged down with the rest of the market. But now that the rest of the market's in recovery mode here this afternoon, along with Bitcoin having an up day, we're getting a lot of green. So having said that, you'll see I want to talk about a critical spot. We are hitting a point of resistance, and we've been there for a couple of hours now, so I'm still hoping that we can get through this point of resistance and we don't get rejected again. The red line that I have at $37,435, that dates back to the August Bitcoin lows. That line goes way back. So you can see this line was support, but Friday, right after the market closed, we dropped below this line and we have not been able to break above it since. We tested it yesterday, just before the close of the equity markets. And now here we've been testing it. You know, we spent the last couple of hours very near this line. So you can see a couple of these candle wicks got above this line, but these are 30-minute candles and we haven't even been able to close a 30-minute candle above that line. So that resistance at the moment is still holding. We'll see if we can break through. If we can, that would be a big breakthrough. If we can break through that, close a 4-hour candle above that, that would be a very encouraging sign. Until then, I think we're still got to consider ourselves a little bit range bound here. So let's zoom out and take a look at the range. Okay, so when we're zoomed out a little bit, you can see that at Thursday we were trading, you know, at around $43,500. And then we had a very bad Thursday. We broke all the way down to the 38,000-ish mark. And then on Friday, we had another massive push down. And by Sunday, we had bottomed out at just around $33,000. So from Thursday afternoon to Sunday afternoon, Bitcoin was down 24%. So that was a massive, massive pullback. Now you can see it looks like that bottom held and we're on the way back up. But again, are we stuck at this line of resistance and range bound? We're stuck in a range between $34,000 and about $37,500. So if we can break out of that to the upside, that would be great. I don't want to go back and retest this line. And I'm going to zoom out a little further because there's still an awful lot of people talking about points even much lower than this. Okay, this orange line down here represents the lows in July of 2021 for Bitcoin. So just about 29,000, give or take a few points. So I know a lot of people are targeting this $29,000 or $30,000. So I want to just mention it. I don't know that we're going there to retest that, but it is certainly a possibility because you can see I've zoomed out a little further to the one-day chart. So since we hit our all-time high on November 10th, it has been pretty much down in a straight line all the way down to January 22nd. And now we have a few days in a row here with some green candles. So we've got a little bit of momentum up. but this is not enough to tell us that we've broken out of this large cycle. I mean, we've been going down for 2.5 months, and it's been a steep decline. So from top to bottom, this is over 50% from November 9th to January 25th. So that's, give or take, that's a little less than 3 months, 2.5 months. So that has been a very strong downward trend, and we haven't, I don't think we've seen enough evidence to say that the downward pressure has stopped. The fear and greed index is extremely low. It's been at historic lows for the last 4 days, which is a long time for that to hang out. There's a lot of things pointing to the fact that we could be headed back up, but I will tell you, the momentum is the momentum. So $29,000 does have a little bit of air of inevitability about it. I'm not saying we're going there, but I do think it's quite possible. Okay, so let's take a look at a few Bitcoin miners in specific. Riot at the moment is down 0.07%, so virtually break even on the day here today. It actually opened at and hit as low as $12.91, so it's now up to $15, so it's way off of its lows on the day, but it is still not back to zero on the day. It's just a penny or two below. So the first thing I want to measure is, this is the month of January. Riot would need to increase its stock price by over 65% just to get back to where it was on January 1st. So not a lot has changed in the Riot narrative in the last less than 1 month. Obviously, the price of Bitcoin has been under great pressure, and that puts the price of the Bitcoin miners under great pressure. But if that pressure subsides, this isn't really a Riot thing, it's a Bitcoin thing. So it wouldn't at all be unreasonable to think that it could get back to its January highs. We're still in January right now, so I'm talking about getting back to where we were 3.5 weeks ago. That would be a 65%, so that's a monster move up if things can get healthy for us here in Bitcoin over the next couple of weeks or the next month. Past that, if I go back to December 3rd, so now that's approximately 2 months ago, that was the day of the Bitcoin flash crash. That really accelerated our trend downward. Bitcoin was trading somewhere in the $57,000 or $58,000 range just prior to that. So if Bitcoin can get healthy and approach that level, then I would expect Riot to follow along with it as well. So that would be a 130% increase in the stock price of Riot, so more than a double, just to get back to where we were 2 months ago. And remember, I'm not going back to the November highs. Riot had already had almost a 25% pullback since Bitcoin hit its high in early November. So that's 2 potential price targets that would represent massive gains. And again, this is not financial advice. I don't know if it's going back to these numbers. I do feel like Riot is very oversold. The whole sector is very oversold, in my opinion. But, you know, you guys got to do your own due diligence and see if what I'm saying makes sense. Let's go to the next one, Bit Digital. So Bit Digital has struggled mightily, and it is, right now it's down 4.16%, and that's actually up from where it was earlier. From its high in November to its low a few days ago in January, Bit Digital was down over 70%. So that is a massive pullback. Now, we also know that Bitcoin has had a very rough time in that same period. So let's take a look at a few numbers. So here we go again. If Bit Digital can just get back to where it was at the beginning of January, January 4th, so that's 3 weeks ago, that would be over a 46% increase in the price of its stock. So again, that probably takes Bitcoin getting a little bit healthier and moving up. If this is one you like and you're averaging into it, it does look like it has the potential for a quick 46% jump if and when Bitcoin gets healthy. If Bitcoin can get back to its trading range somewhere in the $57,000, $58,000 range, if Bit Digital can follow along, that would represent a 124% increase in the price of this stock. So Bit Digital did put out a new investor deck on December 15th, and I've gone through that, so I may do a separate video talking about this one. There's some pros and cons here. I do think it's oversold and it has a lot of upside, but there's also some risk that Bit Digital has that maybe don't come along with some of the other miners. So please be careful when you're doing this one. Again, not financial advice. Make sure you do your due diligence on Bit Digital if you're going to invest. And the last one I want to talk about is CIFR Mining, stock ticker CIFR. So this is a fairly new company. It went public several months ago, I think back in September. For this period of time, from late August all the way through October 6th, there was a giant spike here, and that did not correspond at all to the Bitcoin's highs. I think this was that period of time where SPACs just run themselves up, and it kind of ran back down. So for the purposes of my analysis, I tend to ignore this period because it's not necessarily realistic. But having said that, even if we ignore that trading range, CIFR has been beaten down perhaps worse than any other Bitcoin mining stock. So there were a lot of days in January where Bitcoin was having a good day and the Bitcoin miners were having a good day and CIFR was still having a bad day. There were a lot of, basically the board was all green except for CIFR. So this has had a tough run. And really the reason for that is they haven't started operations yet. They were a SPAC. They raised a very large amount of money, just under $400 million. They have purchase orders and plans in place to get to 14 exahash potentially by the end of 2022. Their big problem is they're currently at 0 exahash. So they are mining no Bitcoin yet. And they really don't expect to be to anything substantial until maybe the middle of the year this year. So I think a lot of money has just fled this in the short term because they don't have anything going on and they know there's no new exciting news to come for the next several months. I feel like investors will take a closer look at this one somewhere in May, June, July, and money may start pouring back into this if they're doing what they said they were going to do. Based on its current market cap, I think it's at $600 or $700 million. I mean, if they get to the 14 exahash they're talking about, that would be wildly undervalued. Even if they had to dilute their stock a bunch to get the rest of the money to get there, it still would put them nowhere near their trading value right now. So I think this one's an if. This one's all about, does this company do what they say they were going to do and ramp up their exahash in a major way? And they don't have to get, they talked about 14 exahash and 19 exahash. They really don't even have to get to that. If they can get to 8 or 10 exahash, there should be a massive, massive upward pressure in this stock. This stock would have to go up 93% just to get back to where it was on December 27th. Again, which that's less than 1 month ago. This stock would almost have to pull a double. I don't expect that to happen in the next month or 2 or 3 for 2 reasons. Bitcoin may still have some downward pressure left on it. And like I said, these guys' operations aren't up and running yet. So for the next couple of months, this could be a very sideways move. Or not. Less than 1 month ago, this thing was almost double what it is right now. So that's got to be on the table. Okay, so this is December 3rd, right before the flash crash. So again, Bitcoin was at 57,000, 58,000 at that point. That would be a 174% increase in the stock price of CIFR. So I do see a lot of potential upside on this one. I'm not sure how much downside is left. I know they can continue selling a stock to some unreasonable places. So there's definitely still risk involved in this one. But if they execute, there's reward on the other side. So again, not financial advice. There's still 45 minutes left in the market. So I guess by the time you guys see this, you'll know where the market closed. So that's my update on Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners, and we will see you in the next video. Thanks a lot.